What up, what up, what up? Thank you for tuning back in to Listening Pleasure. I'm your host, the one, the only Rob G.
I promise you one day it ain't gonna be all do a podcast. It's gonna be a conglomerate.
And also it brings it full circle. If you go into it and buy a copy with a family member.
Welcome. Well, hello there. Hey, listen, man. Thank y'all. Welcome y'all for tuning back in. I'm your host, Rob G, with my main man, my co-host, my right wing man, Mike V.
What up? Y'all already know the vibe. Hit the goddamn button. Yeah, tell your friends, man. Tell your people, tell their people. We outside.
Ain't a man.
And this episode for y'all. This episode for y'all.
So for those that ain't been up on game, because I had some people, it's crazy. Listen, before I dive into it, because I had some people that started back doing conditioning football practice. And some people out there that be like, yo, coach, I'll be watching the podcast. I like the show. And they really be watching. They was breaking down stuff and was like, yeah, I was into it, but right when this happened, I went off and this. I was like, oh, you breaking down, so you be into it. But tonight, man, go ahead.
Since you jumped on that, it still ain't nothing better than being outside and somebody being like, hey, that's the dude from the podcast. You know what I'm saying? Like, we be at games. I wish y'all would have played this summer. This spring. I've been blessed to be able to do the playoffs, and I'm about to do the Super Bowl. That's what's going
on, Vaughn. What's going on, Vonda? Yeah, man, I'll be out there Saturday. I'll be out there Saturday for a couple of hours, at least a flag and some of the 8U game, and then I have to make a couple runs. Saturday busy, man.
Hey, my wife.
I got to run to Williamsburg and everywhere else. But like I said, so tonight we parked in Newport News, man. This is it's not another headline, not another name, nothing fancy. It's basically like another family accident. Does anybody hear us? This is about the Ebony Parker story. A lot of you know about it. Maybe not the Ebony Parker side. You know about the shooting in I forgot the name of the school on Rich Neck Road. Sorry about that, y'all.
Rich Neck Elementary.
Oh, okay. I don't know, but couldn't remember the name of the school. They changed the names of the school so much, I'll be calling them old names. And they be like, I don't know that school, coach.
That's the fact.
I'd be like, yeah, y'all call it something different. So at the Rich Neck school, so her case is one that should stop you, mid-scroll if you see anything. And sit with us to break down the silence, the system, the fight for the injustice reform is we got BeKura Shabazz on the show tonight. And as y'all know, Shabazz just don't talk change. She walked that walk. She walked that walk.
She fights quick.
Yeah, and she gonna demand it, man. You know what I'm saying? So before we go in all deep into it, everybody take a deep breath, get your stuff together, and just listen. Because tonight we're just not gonna talk about it. Excuse me. And tonight we're just not talking about the case. We're talking about what happens when the system forgets, one, that we are human and fail to protect those that's doing what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? But I'm trying to leave it without diving too much, so let her do what she do. But it's hard, man. Once you start talking about it, you want to start peeling back them layers of what you know. So
yeah, because once I started reading,
yeah,
no.
So like you always say, we're gonna bring Miss Shabazz on, but for those that's on, like, subscribe, share,
hit the button.
Put this one out there. We need this one everywhere. So without further ado, right now. Y'all welcome Miss Shabazz to the show. Y'all welcome Miss Shabazz to
Well,
What's
Good.
going on? What's going on?
welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back.
And last but not least, we'll give him a second to get his stuff together. Well, we got information technical man, brother Heezy of the show. He's gonna be joining on in a second. But welcome, Mr. Bass. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank y'all so much for having me, because this issue is extremely important. It should be near and dear to all of our hearts that are from, especially if you're from Newport News, if you have children in school, children that are going to go to school, or if you just love children, period, or if you work in the school or have people that you love that work in the school. This is critical. What's going on here?
As I read, it kind of seemed like it.
Yeah, it's very, very indeed, and it's something like you say. Everybody should have something to say, one way or other, to this subject. One, everybody got kids in school. Everybody got somebody they love in school, and everybody knows somebody that's a teacher, staff, or something in the school system. So it affects us in so many ways.
That's true.
So before we dive into it, let's start this way. We got Miss Shabazz on. We'll let her say. Let's break down the case, the situation, what happened before we get into Miss Parker, the situation of the case, so to give people a rundown what happened that occurred on. I had it in my mind. I was doing a little Is it June the 6th?
January 6th.
January the 6th. Okay, I knew it was a J. January. Let me bring my bad. I forgot to bring brother. Listen, it was in my brain, man. I got so much. Y'all welcome Brother Heezy to the stage before we dive into it. What's going on, brother?
What up, bro?
Yo, everything good?
Yes, sir. So
but before we start, I wanna say this, because a lot of times we'll just get the headlines right. And a lot of times our news outlets tells us what they want us to hear so that they can control the narratives and they can shape how we feel and what we think. And so it's imperative that we go behind the veil and do our own due diligence to find out the truth of a thing before we start bashing folks and throwing them under the bus and talking about she need to get thrown under, all of this stuff. We have to do it. We got to do it.
Yes.
I definitely agree, because it's a lot of stuff that just us trying to do this episode. Like, I ain't know none of this stuff about the situation before I started trying to look into it. Man, yeah, I was misinformed a lot.
A lot of people were. I have talked to a lot of people that one thought that she was the head principal. She wasn't.
Me until today.
Yeah. It's just a lot of misinformation out there, and that's why we're here today. And I'm thankful for you all providing this platform so folks can get, this information and clear up any questions that they may have. Because the fact of the matter is that Miss Ebony Parker is on trial. Her trial starts next week. It is the 18th through the 21st. She's looking at prison time. Like a single person is looking at prison time for a system that failed. Not only her, but everybody else that was in it. And the system is throwing this one person under the bus. Imagine if it was you.
Okay, so before we get into it, let me say this. I was reading probably 30 minutes. Me and you ain't never discussed this. The first thing I said was, oh my God, they turning this lady into a scapegoat. Like, the first time, like, reading for 30 minutes, like, how only one person on trial? How all these people get to walk away from this? One person got paid a $500,000 severance to just retire. How all these people get away from this and one person on trial and facing 40 years? Yeah, so he'll tell you. I came here with questions because I know you know more than I know. I got questions because, yeah, I just can't see it. I'm saying if the whole system failed, like you either got to have a lot of people on trial or you got to have the system on trial. But you can't just try to blame one person for this. But yeah, let's delve into it.
All right, so let's go through the the case, the basis of the case.
Now, I want to stop you right quick. I want to stop you right quick.
Okay, go ahead.
Let's talk about credentials, right? To become a teacher, you have to go to school 4 years and get a license. In order to become a principal, you have to have a PhD. A master's degree is not gonna make it. You have to have your PhD, right?
Mm-hmm.
They will let you serve as an interim while you are seeking your PhD, but you got to be on that track to getting it, right? And so we're talking about 8, 9, 10 years of schooling that this lady did in education that don't pay a lot, that she had to start from the bottom, now she here type thing with all these children and different personalities and mamas and daddies and snotty noses and all of this stuff that she did, you know, to get to this place because she loved this. Because I don't believe that that ain't one of them fields you going into because you about to make $1 trillion. You born into that. Like, I ain't going over there, okay? I can't do it. These people are special folks and they deserve to be protected. They deserve it. And so when we look at what she sacrificed to get to where she was and where she is now, man, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I can go for that.
Listen, man, I'm just waiting till everybody get caught up. It's a lot, man.
Bruce, Lowe's.
So basically, what's going on, Von? Somebody had some feedback. I don't know if that was me or what. So basically, it's a situation where a 6-year-old. Y'all hear that feedback? Is that? Let me see.
I do.
It's keep coming. I don't know where it's coming from. But we had a situation where a 6-year-old went to the school, brought a gun to school. The reporter said he had a gun in school. Now imagine this was being told all day long. At 2:00, the situation turned to the worst. Man, that's horrible. I'm hearing it when I'm talking. Let somebody else say the case. Let me see if that's me or somewhere else.
Is it me?
I heard it though. Yeah, situation turned to the worst, and
Yeah.
I don't know. Are we saying the other teacher's name for the sake of this conversation?
Oh, it's in the paper. It's on all the documents.
There.
Yeah.
I mean, I just wanted to make sure, man. Don't nobody come try to.
So at 2:00, and I got to. Right now, I'm just talking before I start looking at all the information. I forgot her name started with a W, but at 2:00, the young man. That's when the shots fired, and he struck the teacher 2 times.
She like a superhero in the newspaper.
You still hear the feedback, Shy? I think we took care of it. I don't hear it no more.
Hey, Bruce, I think the mom was sentenced to 4 years, right?
I think she had 4 years in the federal penitentiary for falsifying the firearm application. Yes, she did not disclose that she used marijuana when she applied for the firearm, and so that's what she went to prison for.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Totally a little different, but okay, we good. We sound good. Sound good on my end. I just want to make sure we was on the same page. Go ahead.
So my first question. Well, before I get into questions, I'm gonna make a statement, because when you read about the Zwerner lady, right, Abby, they make it seem like Abby put herself in between the gun and the kids, and she stuck her hand out and got shot in the hand and took another shot. And they made it seem like it was random. What they didn't tell you was they had a run in the week prior. Her and the same kid. Like, why was that kid even in her classroom?
And the week prior, I mean, just not a run in. He's supposed to broke her phone and some more stuff, right?
Yeah, like grabbed her phone off the desk and slammed it and broke it and got suspended for it. Like, why is he even in her class still after showing that type of violence? Right?
What's her name? Abby Zerna or something like that.
It's so many layers to this, right? Because and I'm also an advocate in the special education space. And when it comes to IEPs and 504 plans, folks were blaming her, saying that she was the reason the child was in a class. But there is a team that convenes when a parent or the child is referred for special education services, right? And it was a time where the parent had to sit in the classroom with the young man, but they don't keep you in that, say like you may be having some problems today. The 504 and the IEP is supposed to evaluate you for progress. And so if they see progress, then once the evaluation comes up, they will remove some of the parameters that were put in place at first. And so apparently he started to behave appropriately, and they removed the parameter for the parent to have to sit in the classroom and ride the bus. These IEP 504 teams convene, and it's normally not the assistant principal. It is the head principal. It is the counselors and a couple of the teachers that are there in that meeting. And I'm telling you, because all of my children have 504 plans, and we'll talk about that later, why our children should have that for federal protection. But anyway, and so they convene, so it's not a unilateral decision that one person makes to put that child, out of a classroom, or to allow the child to, have the parents there, or whatever the case may be. And so being that and even say that even if they had made a referral after that, right, it's going to take longer than a week to convene to address the situation. None of this stuff is immediate. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that we need to be looking into, because this stuff is real. It's really happening. But what also was interesting to me is that nobody talked to or told us that they talked to this little boy to find out why was he directing this anger directly to her. He didn't direct this to none of the other staff. Directly to Abby.
So what day was that? On January 6th, right? 2023, when I first heard about it, and they said she got shot at 2:00 p.m. and he had a gun in school all day, the first thing I said was, and maybe I'm wrong, but I'm just being honest, what that lady do that 6-year-old wanted to shoot her?
And we won't ever know that unless he speaks up once he turns 18, or when he is old enough to take the social media and tell. And I saw one in the comments where an individual said that the assistant principal is in the meetings. If the principal is not available, the designee can be in the meetings, but it is normally the principal that's there. But if a meeting is scheduled and the principal is not available, or if the parent makes a special request, that can be. But normally it's the principal that has to sign off on it, and not the vice, unless the principal made that person their designee. And one thing we know about children, right? Little children.
Good question. But go ahead.
Kids love who love them. They know. You know what I'm saying? They know. It's the innocence of them, right? They know, and they may act up sometime when they are looking for attention, but they even know who to act up around and who they're gonna get that attention from. They inherently know this thing. And so the fact that this 6-year-old cognitively knew that the only thing that he could do to either prevent, stop, or whatever needed a gun is major. He ain't kick, kids used to kick and spit and stuff. This boy said, no, you going to see Jesus.
Yeah. So, and it's like this. Not only that, so I seen this, like to say, Mike. Also, last year, not even breaking the phone, he's supposed to choke the teacher, last year. I'm saying so, and it's reported he had. Now, imagine we talking about 6-year-old now. So he had a reported documentation of behavior. So, and from what I gathered last year, it's steps that was failed. One, he was supposed to be accompanied by a parent from the get-go. So one, he got on the bus. He's supposed to have a parent to get on the bus. That's failed. Two, he was in the school. No matter if it was just 10, 20 minutes, well, your parent, you got in the classroom. Mind you, the shooting happened at 2 o'clock. If he's supposed to have a parent, how he stay in the building till 2 o'clock?
The parent, they had took away the he wasn't supposed to be accompanied by the parent anymore. They had lifted that at that time.
Oh yeah, I had read that in the joint when they
yeah, he was before, prior to. Yeah. But I'm gonna tell you another thing, systemically. So you had Minister Sims on this same show some months back with Dr. Candace Lucas, where she told the audience that her 2 grandchildren had witnessed their mother being murdered in front of them, right? Mm-hmm. And the system after a psychiatrist said those children were not to go back to public schools, the doggone judge took the children from Minister Sims because she did not enroll them in public school and kept them in a therapeutic program, and they took the children from her, enrolled those children in public school. One teacher got stabbed. The other little boy got stabbed by a pencil. The other one was sexually assaulting children. And so it's these systems that fail.
You keep putting them kids back in there. Like,
exactly.
You should, like, it got to be something in place to know your child is in that type of environment. What is it, 8 hours a day with somebody like that? You know what I'm saying?
So, Shad, for me, your question was a little bit further down the line after we got into the conversation, but I have the same question.
Yeah, like, I seen it the 5-6 times she posted it. I was just waiting till we got to that part.
What was the question?
Why the school wasn't evacuated?
Why the school wasn't evacuated?
Listen, Chad, why wasn't a whole lot of stuff happen with big grown adults saying that, oh, we not allowed to call the police? First of all, the school system has 2 different responses, right? It's the normal procedure that you follow, protocol, the chain of command. But then there's emergency response when there is exigent circumstances. And that would have been one of them. Like you see a gun, we're not waiting for somebody to show up. You have to call the person who is trained to de-escalate. There isn't a teacher, a regular teacher or principal staff, unless they was in law enforcement, that have been trained by any school system in the state of Virginia to tactically be able to de-escalate or take a weapon from anybody. So knowing that, why are we not saying that she should have contacted the police? And then you shuffled him around throughout the day, around all of those children and staff, knowing, because see, the principal never saw it, but they said they saw it. And so if you say you saw it and you contacted the principal and she did nothing, why didn't you do something else? And if you were worried about losing your job, well, if he shot and killed you, there is no job to lose anyway.
And if I lose my job, I'm gonna sue the shit out you people.
And that would have been it. You know what I'm saying? Like, why did none of those other adults call 911, and their excuse is that is not what policy says. Well, common sense does.
Yeah, Shy, you're right, man. There's a whole lot could have been done other than that. But I just say this to piggyback off that real quick. It's just very alarming to me. Like, they say they seen it, some adults. The principal checked this book bag, what they told her to bring to, so she did that. We all been to school. When we was coming up, we had Game Boys and the little games. If somebody said you had one of them shits in school, they search your book bag, your locker, your pocket, everything over a game. But you're telling me somebody got a gun and we ain't gonna search the kid? We only search the book bag. Or we as a grown adult see it with a class full of other kids and don't do nothing?
So one of my other question is, don't know men work at Rich Neck Elementary?
Not none that won't scared.
Because at some point,
hold on, it gotta be some security in the building.
No, I said men. I said men.
I know it gotta be. It ain't gonna be all. It ain't gonna be all girls.
I ain't say males.
No.
I ain't say males. I said men. Right? Because at some point, there's a bunch of people in here that need to be protected. And the moment a man find out about that, he going to find out. He's not going to sit around and see what's going to happen. He's going to find out about that. 6-year-old kid and that, bro. Like, it's too many people in here that need to be protected. Like, it just sounds like don't know men work there.
Yeah, Bruce, classmate, adults seen it. They had plenty of people say it's I was looking at something on ChatGPT earlier that sent me to it because I was looking at a news article. Then I asked ChatGPT to pull up the court thing, and it said it showed a record of how many people were supposedly said this before, and I got to go back and find it in my notes. But yeah, it was plenty of people that seen it and said something.
2 minutes for nothing to have been done.
Yes.
So quick question. They seen the pistol?
Yeah.
So one teacher, one student.
Two teachers said they saw it and some kids. And he supposed to have threatened one of the kids if he had told.
Yeah.
I
forgot about that part.
And then but then you're thinking about, so when Miss Parker did search the book bag, and they're saying that they wanted her to do a more thorough search. If you read Newport News Public Schools policy, every teacher and staff has the autonomy and authority to do a search. Every last one of them. And so if you're saying to me, you want a particular person to be the one to do it, in my mind, well, are you wanting that person, if anybody is to get hurt, that's the one you want to get hurt? Or what? Like, why all y'all got the same training, which is none. So why not call the people who are supposed to be trained to do this job? Or he's 6. When she asked him for the book bag and he said no, she let it go. Why you ain't snatched the book bag from, like, hang him up on the little hook in the school on the little coat rack or something? Like, he's sick.
Yeah, 6.
So we sending a message to all gangster 6-year-olds across the world that they can bully they teachers and staff and get away with it. Like, what is this? I mean,
again, how only one person on trial?
How only one person on trial?
How
is one Black woman responsible for all these systemic failures that she, and let's go to who makes the policy, right? So each jurisdiction has autonomy to come up with their own policies, right? And so that starts with the school board and the superintendent's office. Where are any of them? Where's the superintendent, Dr. Mitchell? I talked to Terry Bass, who is the chair of the school board. She said she can't say anything because, she, it's in court. And listen, I don't want to hear none of that. None of it. Because the policy, if the staff is confused about what it is that they can do, if the ambiguity is there, then they had an obligation to make that policy clear what they could or could not do. But what's also interesting is that the amount of people that said that they believed that they could not call the grown folks believing they can't call the post. What kind of psychological warfare they got going on, brainwashing that they're doing to these teachers that's taking these jobs?
I don't believe that.
It's the work environment.
Rich Neck got too many white people there.
It's what you describing. I think because most people know to call the police when it's danger. So to me, what it sounds like is the work environment. Like people were stomping on some people's toes in there or something. Because it's no way. It's no way that this many adults. So I'm thinking it's the culture of the school.
So let's talk about that, because that is what people say, right? But even if it's the culture, right? We know that there's a teacher shortage. You can go and get they'll snatch you. You listen, it's so much of a teacher shortage that they're taking you without having your license and tracking you into you getting your license. You can go ahead and get this job before you get your license because it's that much of a shortage and they're not paying no money. And so if we are going to put educators in this type of environment, how do we tell people to continue to go in this field of work? What is going to be the future of schools if this is the culture that we are saying is okay?
So I just seen something I was reading. Not only does it says, and I just put it up here, about when you said the policy, it's mandated that they report it to law anyway. So you're supposed to call a 911 and report it anyway. It's mandated. That's your requirement. And not doing so is an issue.
So see, there's two things, right, folks, what Rob is talking about. So everybody that works in the school is what we call a mandated reporter. Mandated reporter laws stem from the federal government. It is federal. And then you have your guidelines on the state. Anytime there is imminent danger, you are to report immediately. It can be civil and criminal consequences for violating your mandated reported statute, right?
Right.
And so nobody thought that, well, if you were worried about your job, you weren't worried about going to jail because you violated the policy of mandated reporting.
Mm-hmm. Here it is right here. I just looked that up, and Mike, you got better eyes if you want to read that. If you can see, I know it's a lot. Or somebody want to read it.
I'm on the phone. I can't see. I'm on the phone.
Newport News Public Schools has specific policies for searching a student suspected of having a weapon. Here's a breakdown. Authority to search. A school principal or designee has the authority to conduct a search of the student and their belongings if a concern arises.
Of the student and their belongings. Not just their book bag, but go ahead.
This is outlined in the Newport News Public School Handbook. Mm-hmm. 13 News Now reporting a threat. If there's a threat against school personnel, school leaders are mandated to report.
Mandated.
Local law enforcement agency in the case where a search is stopped right there.
Okay, that's all I put. So listen, right there, that already say, how is Ebony Parker the only one on trial when it's mandated you report it? And it's already on file that two people saying they seen it.
And neither one of those two people was Ebony Parker.
So, quick question. I don't. So did they?
Oh, come
Did
on
they?
with that. We need it from all
No.
angles.
Yeah, because I want. So did they testify that they seen it?
Yes.
Yeah, it's
So
on public record that they seen it.
they
Court
said that
records. Yeah,
they seen the pistol.
court records.
Yeah.
They seen it.
Okay. Okay. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't get to read everything. I'm a little busy right now. But
It's all
okay.
right.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Yeah. Like I say, I seen it the day it happened. Threw me off guard. So she the only one that's getting. She the only one
Yes.
on trial.
She
And
got,
Not even the principal. The principal ain't on trial. And listen, the
no,
principal,
he retired. I just was reading that. I was reading. Go ahead. I'm gonna let you
she,
talk about it. She. Yeah, I'm sorry.
yes. So the principal is the head of the ship, right? When you look at
was he
JD
there that day?
and no, she wasn't there that day. However, though, whatever rules she make for her school, that's what it is. And so it looks like when you look at Trump and JD, right?
Mhm.
We always hear Trump. We don't never hear the vice president. The vice president stand in the background.
Mhm.
It's the same. It's the same thing. She's just the assistant principal. If somebody, like I know like different grades, you have your different assistant principals that deal with whatever grade level or whatever the case may be, or they may be assigned different tasks and duties or whatever, but that school belongs to the head principal.
Mhm.
And so
Okay. Yeah.
by nature of the principal not making policy clear to her staff, why was she not negligent? Why did she not make sure that her staff understood A, mandated reporting, and two, that they very well could call the police if there's imminent danger? We're
So
talking about kids.
we would have to dig up when the last time basically they was trained, right? Or had to go through some type of
Never.
protocol to see what
So
they
they went through they go through a training, right? And this training is like it's not a tactical training. It's not like the police force. It's like a webinar type situation, simulated, but not with violence. It's like a de-escalation. If you've ever had a de-escalation training where it's basically somebody trying to talk you down or whatever, and you negotiating or whatever, okay, that is what it is. Their training is more behavioral, but not to deal with firearms, weapons, and bombs and stuff like and stuff like that. And so they are completely not qualified to handle. None of them. Nobody is qualified to handle it if you're not in an SRO role or the SRO that serves as the police in the school, which they have no police in elementary schools.
Okay. So, because way before we give to Ebony Parker, some other people was in trouble, right?
Should have been.
In my opinion. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Under whose authority is it that the metal detectors don't be on every day?
There's no metal detectors with the elementary school.
So it said it was a metal detector in there. It said it was 2 metal detectors, but it said that the metal detectors are used randomly.
Yes. So they're not, like in high school. Okay. And I'm not saying every high school. My daughter's high school got a metal detector, and it ain't random. It's every day. No matter if you went through it, you go out, you got to come back in through that metal detector. Everybody's going through that metal detector. Elementary schools are a little bit different than the high schools and the middle schools that have the policies that
okay,
say what it is.
So ain't those people the first people that fought, the people who didn't have the metal detector on?
Well, if the policy wasn't there that said that the metal detector needed to be on every day, then we can't.
So
the policy wasn't there.
So the people who wrote the policy should be in trouble then, right?
That's the whole. Yes. People who failed to address these issues were grossly negligent because, for one, we can see that this was foreseeable, right? We know the climate of what's going on in the United States of America right now. We can we don't want no gun violence in our schools or communities, period, right? However, we need to be prepared because, for one, we're putting too much stuff on everybody. Anybody liable to snap at any given moment. So we need to be prepared for whatever goes down. And we got a crazy head of the state right now. So foreseeability of an incident is enough that a school system should be proactive in security measures and safety to keep staff and students protected. Why was this not a thing in Newport News, Virginia? We are number 3. No, my bad. Number 2 in this state when it comes to violence. 2. I know that the police chief and everybody else out there telling y'all that the crime that went down and yada yada and our programs is working and listen, 2 different things, right? 2 different things. We got to be proactive and stuff like this. And I want to say this, right? How does a 6-year-old know how to conceal a gun to a T on his body? Who trained him? Who did that?
The internet.
Well, listen. Okay, let's say he's been watching the internet, or let's say he's been out there like the folks that's Googling.
One of my nephews robbed a cab driver at 8. At 8. So everything.
Did he Google how to do it?
Huh?
Did he Google? He Googled how to do it.
The way he got it from, but he did it. So it's there now.
Let's talk about that, right?
Okay.
So if children are using the internet to fit, and you know the internet terrible. Listen, it is. Then us as parents got to do a better job at setting up these parental controls and monitoring screen time, going into that history and seeing what your children are looking at. Go up to the top and hit history, pull it down and see if they on Pornhub, a GTA Auto, How to Kill My Mama, or whatever the case else they looking for, and find out what's going on with it. Because if they plotting, they not gonna tell you. Okay. And so if that's how he figured out how to conceal a gun, we still have an issue because the mother knew that her child has a mental illness. And for you to leave your gun unattended, most people that are firearm holders, they listen, them firearms is on them like drawers. They not leaving that firearm just on, and walk. It's just too much at stake to do that. And so you left it where he could get it, didn't realize that it was gone. And this is when the assistant principal called her to come to the school, it was late in the afternoon. You didn't know your gun was gone all day, ma'am. All day.
Okay. So do you think he was supposed to be in school altogether?
No, absolutely not. No. But I can understand how he was, because listen, you know why they push for our children to be in school? It don't have nothing to do with education. They don't give a shit if them kids learn or not. It's because they get money for every day that they are in a seat. They get money for every day they are in a seat. When they're absent, they don't get no money.
So after probably the 3rd big nationwide school shooting, I've been saying for 20 years, the public school system's supposed to have been shut down, bro. And for one reason and one reason only. They can't guarantee you that your kid's safe when they go there.
Listen, Mike, we got coalitions that's pushing for public schools to fund public schools.
Right? Charges right there. She got. Well, I'm gonna break them down in a second, but she got 8 charges. Go ahead.
And she got felony child neglect. 8 charges of felony child neglect, 1 for each bullet that was in the gun. So the gun was loaded, baby. But anyway, I forgot what I was saying. What was I talking about? Just that quick.
The public school system.
Oh yeah, yes. So the reason you remember the shift in when they stopped letting parents beat their kids. And then they ushered in CPS, calling 911. We won't even allowed to go and visit our kids. To this day, we can't go and pop up on our kids no more in school. They're like, oh no, we can't let you in the back.
Let me say this real quick, because I be saying this and I could be wrong. But from how I view the system and how they doing it, they ain't your kids once they go in that school.
So the law does agree with that. So there's a thing called Parents Patriot. Y'all take the time out to pull up Parents Patriot, right? And what Parents Patriot says is that the state has a greater interest in our children than we do. And so they have a greater interest in protecting them. And that's why CPS is their conduit to take our children when they want to say that we are negligent or abusive or whatever the case may be, impoverished and all these other things. Same thing when it comes to schools. And that's another reason why I never signed the parent student handbook. I always reserve my rights. I never waive them by signing that book. But once they do go in that school, they get to do what they want to do with them. And I've been telling y'all, listen, I said, pull the MOU that exists between the police department and these school systems. And I promise you will see that they have turned the school into a mini prison. We talk so much about the school to prison pipeline, right? But nobody wants to go out there and do the work to really solidify what it looks like. That MOU put the nail in the coffin when it came to the school to prison pipeline, because that police officer that's in that school has more authority and power than the principal, especially when it comes to violence. And it says that it is expressly written in the MOU that the principal cannot intervene when the police is using violence on students. Crazy talk. Where are our parents?
Listen,
why are we not outraged?
That's why when you go into school, they got you thinking it's for your child's safety. And this, you gotta listen. You gotta you gotta get your ID, sign in, check in, wait for them to go get them, wait till they do all this. That's like you know what I'm saying? So yeah, Tequila, you're right. But Shy, listen, man, I've been behind on the comments, so I'm catching up on something as I speak. I'm looking at different stuff. Like I said, man, this case got me intrigued, so I'm looking at as we talking, looking up different stuff y'all point on. But the key point that her criminal trial starts Monday. That's Monday the 18th, right?
Yes.
Monday. So here's the complete trial schedule up there for those that want to see it. I've even posted up there. So you got the evidence date and everything. So it looks like she's going to trial like 3 days. She got 3 days worth of trial. What it look like?
21st.
Mm-hmm.
4 days.
Okay,
4 days.
Okay.
And my daughter's graduating on the 18th, and so I won't be there on that day, but I will be there on the 19th and going. And I want to also bring this to our attention. The police have no duty to protect, right? Individuals. The Supreme Court has already ruled that long time ago. However, in a public school setting, that is where the police do have a duty to protect. And so if it's the police's duty to protect that building, why would you not call the person whose duty it is to protect the building and the people that's in it?
And it's trained to handle that type of situation. Like Coach, Speller said, every school, especially at all schools, I think they got an SRO. So that person is trained and tactical for that. Like, who we trying to protect in that situation by not calling and getting the person that's trained to handle that situation? For those teachers that didn't even see the weapon, for those teachers that was told about the weapon, they should have. Once you told that, you got to act a certain way. You're mandated to do that. That's just like if you mandated for when it come down to child abuse or anything else. If you don't report it, if you do, you got. Now elementary school, I think they're rotating. Okay, well, I don't
We
know.
just got in our elementary school, we have he's unarmed. He's the regular SRO. But in the high school and in the middle schools, there's a armed police officer in the schools. And listen, and here's the other part about this, right? We're talking about police. They're still who they are. They don't make us safe either. Like, our alternatives are horrible for Black people. Like, even me saying, "Why didn't you call the police?" I cringe, because that's the last person that I want somebody to have to be calling, because that could be the end of anybody's life. You know, with that, I don't feel good with that. However, that is the person whose job it was, and we're talking about saving children that could have got hit, bullet could have ricocheted or anything and killed anybody. You know what I'm saying? And so the immediate onus should have been on Abby, the first person that saw it, to call the police.
Mm-hmm.
We wouldn't be here. The police would have ran in. They would have tactically gave them a exit plan, how they needed to get the children, bring them out, whatever, and then they would have grabbed up Ray, and then they would have did what they needed to do.
So she seen. I'm just asking. So she seen the gun before he whipped it out.
Way before that morning. That he was in school all day long.
So she said, she testified. I'm trying to get it. So she testified in court. She said, before he shot me, I seen the gun in his possession.
Way before. Not only before he shot her, but he went into other classrooms with other teachers.
Mm-hmm. He shot her at 2:00 in the evening.
Yes.
Reports on the first gun. Let me see if I can find that back. I had broke that down.
Like 11:30.
Because I'm trying to.
Yeah, I thought it was 10:30.
I'm trying to see, because so her sworn testimony is she seen that pistol before he pulled it out.
Yeah.
That's
way before, hours and hours before.
Shy just posted who called the police. They say the primary person who called 911. Let me put it back up there so I can see. Make sure I can get it right. The primary person.
And I'm gonna say, so the historical failures. Newport News Public Schools did not consistently implement threat assessment teams or provide thorough violence prevention training. Most threat assessments were not conducted. Teachers and administrators are not trained to physically disarm students. Physical handling of weapons is restricted to security and law enforcement. And so, what we calling Ebony for?
Like a bunch of people supposed to be in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Or
say prior to 2023, Newport News Public Schools lack consistent district-wide threat assessment teams and violence prevention training for staff.
No.
Hey, your wife just said the smartest comment I've seen ever since the case been going. She said you can't make sense of it because it don't make sense.
No, that's the fact.
Thank you, boo. Sis. Listen. But this is the thing. So many people is throwing this lady in the trash. They are bashing her to death. Because they don't have all of the information.
If you don't have a fall gap, then you have to blame the system. And the system is at fault. And their system worked for them. So they got to have a fall gap.
Mm.
And she is the fall guy. And I mean, and listen, and not only white folks, white folks gonna do what white folks gonna do, but us.
My bad, Speller. I just seen this. Somebody bring Brother Speller on.
I can't hear y'all. Shit.
All right, sign off and come back, Joe.
Like it's kind of sad. It is.
This woman went to college to go to prison. That's what she did. All she did that morning was get up and go to work. That's it.
And the mama doing 4 years, she facing 40 years.
Yeah.
She's looking at more time than the mama. Yes. Yeah, and she lost her life. She lost everything she worked for. I mean, let's just put ourselves in her shoes. We worked so hard, for this thing. Like, that's a lot of work, a lot of money, staying out of trouble, long nights, early days, staying out, you at school all day. And let me go back. And you ain't making no money. You ain't making no coins to be putting up with this nonsense. And we're going to throw this woman, and we should be out protesting. We should be demanding that she get her license back. Like, we should not be allowing this to happen. We should be shaming city council for not showing up for her. And yes, I said city council. Philip Jones, yes. We should be shaming the school board and the superintendent's office. And let me tell you this about the prosecutor. So the prosecutor is a special prosecutor on the case, right? However, the special prosecutor is Joshua Jenkins, who was Howard Gwynn's next in line when he was going to retire. When Howard didn't win and Shannon took the job, Jenkins then left and went to Anton Bell's office, which was the office that Shannon just came from. And now he's still handling the case under the special prosecutor. So the judge, when they filed a motion to keep him on the case, the judge allowed him to stay on the case, saying that it may be some bias because Shannon had already said that she don't really feel like the lady should have been prosecuted. And so they leveraged their power, right? And this is the political games that people be playing. And that's why when we up here, we talking about, oh, good job, this one, that one, and that one. We got to really do our research on who we dapping up and singing our praises to, because the majority of the time they brought out by somebody knows something about them, and they'll come out and do 1-2 good things, but they ain't good. They ain't good for the community.
Hey, I know I'm all over the place, but this is my fault. I was off my phone, so I missed this, and I had my phone on mute. So I'm gonna bring in my brother Speller. He wanted to clean up say something about the police stuff we was talking about earlier about the school joint. So y'all welcome Speller to the stage.
Hey, good evening, everybody.
Well,
Y'all are nail on the head with this conversation. The only thing I wanted to clarify, because it kind of bounced back and forth, because I've had the opportunity to work both for a local police agency and a local school system. So for elementary schools, that school resource officer program is funded so that there are officers on site in high schools and middle schools. But every officer is also assigned at least 2 elementary schools because of the amount of elementary schools in our area. Hampton, we got like 20 something elementary schools.
yes, sir.
So because of that, each officer, although they're not on site all the time, they have a responsibility to elementary schools. So like y'all said earlier, for this, it's a failure from the top down, because what should have happened is, yes, school administration is notified, but then the next step past that, because along with that administration, you're going to get school security involved, which, like you said, they're trained to go and address certain situations. And that was a situation that, as it's explained, they definitely could have handled. Like, if it's in the bag, that's prime opportunity for them to go and deal with it right then. But past that, you notify your school resource officer. It's not necessarily picking up and calling 911, but you have their number because they get work cell phones, and you notify their school resource officer. If that officer ain't available, he either notifies another school resource officer, his supervisor, and if none of them are available, they contact the road, and the road responds. Just a regular officer assigned to whatever district it is. They come and they address it. So yeah, there's no reason one person should be getting the brunt of what's going on. Like, she shouldn't be the only one answering questions.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a sad situation, brother, all the way around. And I don't even see how they make it make sense that one person is. Go ahead, Mike.
And the person who saw
definitely see how they know how to do it.
the person who saw the gun first got $10 million.
But for not saving herself. Like, and listen, it was interesting because in Virginia, we have what's called contributory negligence, right? Which says that a person cannot recover damages if they are at least 1% at fault. And so, but when I watched the civil trial, I thought that her lawyers were listen, y'all know I ain't been in no law school. Garbage. I was trying to send messages to these, Lord have mercy. I feel like everybody's throwing her in it because the job was just so horrid that she really should be going back for and getting them on ineffective assistance of counsel because, ma'am, you had a duty to save yourself and you made a decision to wait on somebody else to save your grown self that for whatever reason didn't happen. And let's be clear. Y'all, my brothers and sisters, I have a duty to keep y'all safe, right? But at any time I say I don't want that duty no more, it's no longer my duty. And so then you have to make sure you keep yourself safe. So we always have a duty to keep ourselves safe first at all costs. I don't care what jobs say, oh, you need to do this first. Listen, if I am in danger,
y'all better run.
Listen, what is we talking about? Like, I don't even like. I wouldn't have these people as my child's teacher because I couldn't trust that you can make a good decision for yourself. And so how can I trust that you're going to make good decisions with my child or teach my children how to make good decisions if you didn't even know how to call 911?
Like you say, man, so many layers to this. Where do you start? And then the last question always gonna be, yeah, you're making her the scapegoat, but how she's the only one? It's no way you just tell me you just gonna skip past everybody else and she's the only one. Like certain things, like you just broke down the officers, you know what I mean? Security. Okay, let's go back to the mandated. You're mandated to report certain stuff. You're mandated to call the authorities. You're mandated to do this. So everybody that's involved that on this court docket testified, knew, seen, and didn't report, like that's crazy. Go ahead, Mike.
And y'all gotta excuse me because my allergies been messing with me. I read somewhere
the allergies rolled up, or the allergies. Go ahead.
I read somewhere where Abby actually texted somebody and told somebody who won't at the school that the kid had a gun.
So you mean to tell me? Oh, listen, let me tell y'all this also. This is another critical point. So if they're saying, well, we didn't want to lose our job, guess what? They got anonymous reporting. Why don't you, and I posted the anonymous, how you can file an anonymous tip. Why you didn't put it anonymous, do the anonymous thing and send it to the people so that the police can show up?
If I ain't mistaken, Bruce, I think the main principal got I forgot the correct word, but they
she won't there.
Yeah, they got, but they got she resigned. They got I think $500,000 or something.
Severance pay.
Severance pay. Yeah, it was like $500,000 or something.
Yeah, she got a half a million.
Yeah, resigned. They got $500,000. Yeah.
First of all, do y'all? So when a locality is sued, y'all know where the money come from?
Taxes.
It's a pot.
So while we about to pay this lawsuit out, right? Why we not mad? Do we got money to be paying for this?
$10 million.
Like, and so the New Jersey versus TLO 1985, which governs school searches, says Under this law, school officials, including teachers, principals, and staff, can search a student, but only under certain circumstances. They do not need a warrant or probable cause like police do. Instead, they must have reasonable suspicion. So the only people that had reasonable suspicion would have been the people who saw it. The principal did not have reasonable suspicion.
Facts. Facts. And Bruce, if I ain't mistaken, and I was reading that earlier when I came on, I think then she resigned too as well, right? And then they brought Miss Parker.
No, they fired her.
Oh, they fired her. Oh shit, even worse. Yeah, so they had her set up.
She lost her license.
Oh yeah, they fired her and took her license. They set her.
So that means that if she goes to prison, when she gets out, first of all, the whole nation know who you are. Let's be clear, everybody. What's she gonna do? I mean, we'll accept her over here on the formerly incarcerated side of the work, but that ain't. She want to teach, and this is let me tell you something about organizing and galvanizing and mobilizing, and this is why I do the things that I do right. And I wish that Virginia would jump on board with how I advocate, because if this would have been any other state where Black people mobilize, we would have been like, oh, well, one of these organizations would have been like, we got a job for you when you come out. We gonna make sure you good. When we say we got us, that's what we supposed to mean. Because when the system throws one of us out like this, we supposed to be there to pick that person up and say, don't even worry about it. We gonna get this money over here and make sure that she's teaching. And in fact, like bro said, he don't even feel like public school. This is a homeschooling opportunity. She got the credentials. So what are we as a community gonna do to make sure that Ebony Parker is good? Because all she did that day was go to work. That's it. Somebody else's mother was negligent. Somebody else's mother was negligent with their child that she should have insisted. She should have insisted that her child not be in public school. Just like Minister Sims insisted that her grandchildren be removed from public school. She insisted. They said, no, them kids going to school, and people got hurt. Dang. We got to start doing more instead of being on social media, running our damn mouths all day, advocating from the screen. Because this shit is real. And Virginia is behind. Like, I don't understand why we hold on to 1619 so hard in this state. Why do we want to be the one? We want to be the only ones to listen. We will never win if we think we're going to be the only ones that can do it. It has to be a collective effort. It has to be a collective, unified effort. But our egos, our vanity gets in the way of our progress.
Excuse me.
So can't she sue Abby then?
So I don't think she has a claim on Abby, but I do believe she has a claim against the school system. And if I was her, I would be listen. And here go the other part of this, right? It should be so many lawsuits that they just should really bankrupt the Newport News public schools.
Yeah, because you said y'all saying y'all saying that they got the mandate thing, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, mandated reporting.
Now, so if Abby seen the gun before Mrs. Parker
Miss Parker never saw the gun.
Well, listen, here it is. She don't even have to see the gun. Once the person told the gun, she supposed to be on top of it then.
So
that's the same thing with child abuse. You don't have to see it. Certain things, you know what I'm saying? There's certain protocols to it.
Okay. So
see, but this is the thing though. When you say that, Rob, that means that a call had to already have been put in by the first person who did it. So she wouldn't have been no need for her to place the call that should have already been placed in the first place. We should have been waiting on the police to get here. We should have now, and this is the thing. Those children should have been removed out of that room with the little boy.
That's what Scott said. Scott should have took the kids.
Number one, right?
Left him alone in that room.
And if Abby and Miss Parker needed to sit with him until law enforcement, heck, I could see that being appropriate. But that won't even. I thought everybody wanted to shift. Everybody wanted to bypass their accountability in the thing and push it to Miss Parker because they say, well, policy says this. Well, when policy and common sense conflict, denote to common sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. If you see a fire and the car on fire, are you going to wait or are you going to immediately dial 911 because the car's on fire? Or are you going to wait till somebody go get a cup of water and hopefully dash it and put it? No. We're not going to do that. It's too much at stake when there is a loaded gun. This ain't no water gun. This is a loaded gun. We don't have time to be calling around everybody and waiting. You call somebody who's coming right now, who had the duty to come right now.
And
let's go back to that search. Because being that she didn't see it, so when she got the call, okay, remind you that Miss Parker also has autonomy and to do what she feels like is appropriate as well. And so being that she didn't see it, she also understands that the little boy still has constitutional rights, like he does. And so she's thinking about liability. So she said, I'm going to search this book bag. And if I don't see it, I'm going to call his mama. Wait for the mama to get here, and then we'll continue this search when the mother gets here. It was too late by then. I can see why she made that move.
Let's Speller go first. Joe Speller was trying to say something.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say on your point about that. That's the only part where I slightly agree that she should be held accountable, just from a leadership perspective of, when you're in the position that she's in, even though you're a vice principal, you're management level. Once you're informed about it, and this is part of my training coming from military, police, whatever, there's a checklist in your head. Let me make sure that these things are happening. And some of those things should be happening simultaneously.
I want you to tell me what those things are that you feel like she should have done, because she did check his bag. And then she called the mama to get her there so he can be further searched and reduce the liability on the school system had she illegally searched him. And what if she had not found a gun even on his body? Now we would have been mad at her there. Oh, she up there searching kids. Can't talk about he got a gun. Because you can't please niggas. I'm going to tell you that now.
I got you, but for me, the general thing for that is I acted in good faith. If I searched that child, I acted in good faith that what I was doing was appropriate for the situation that was reported to me. But as far as what should have been done, y'all already have pointed it out. Major thing, the other kids coming out of that class. They're coming out, and we're dealing with this situation 1-on-1, 2-on-2, with whatever it is. We're isolating that young man until mom gets there or whatever. Simultaneously, I would have been making sure, hey, did we notify SRO? I would have been talking to security. Did you notify the SRO or whoever? So those kind of things is where I feel like whether it was her there or the head principal there, you're paid to make sure all the boxes are checked.
Thing she did, and because the policy there isn't a checklist of all the things. And so what it does is that the policy gives them autonomy to do what they feel like is necessary considering the situation. What she felt was necessary was for her to check that bag and to call the parent. She had the autonomy and the authority to do that. And so we can't get mad and say we wanted her to do something else because policy didn't direct that she needed to do anything else other than that.
But this is what I mean by that. For those of us that operate in that realm, in that
Joe, and then we go on the mic. Go ahead, my bad,
for those of us that operate in that management realm, in whether it's school system, because like keep it 100. A manager is a manager wherever you go. and you're kind of hired to be able to make some decisions, even if they're not written down. So that's where I say, yes, no, not an actual checklist, but there are things, if you're an experienced educator or managing educators, you should kind of have in your head, this is what I need to be doing. This is how we
They are
need to
not
be flowing.
tactically trained to have that information. They do not, and so you said about the resource officer. So contrary to what many parent wishes, Chief Drew said there will not be a student resource officer or an SRO assigned to Rich Neck Elementary. This was afterwards. And so prior to that, it also said Rich Neck Elementary School have 2 weapon detection systems that all students and visitors must pass through each day. However, there was no full-time SROs at the school. They did not have a consistent full-time security officer either at any point during the school year leading up to January 6, 2023. And so if the school itself is raggedy, hold on, if the people over the people are going to be raggedy and not make sure that people have what they need to do what we're saying that they need to do, the onus is still on the people who are supposed to put these things in place. And she is nobody in the scheme of things. That woman ain't nobody. She don't make no policy. She don't sign off on nothing except as a secondary person. She was not tactically trained. None of them are. They don't even know SRO in there to protect her. So say, okay, let's say we give her little Ray. So what, we would have been happy that she got shot? So is that what we asked it for? Because there was no resource officer, even when they would have sent them to her. There wasn't no resource officer. So now what?
All right, come on. Oh, go ahead. My bad. I get you. Let's go because Mike going crazy for about 10 minutes.
All right.
If Mike asked me to that lady see that gun one more time.
No.
Mike raising his hand like
he's Mike. Easy if he asked me.
No, is because I keep hearing the word policy, right? And then you jump to the Constitution, right? So policy don't trump Constitution.
Correct.
So when y'all say that it's mandated in their policy that they have oversight to check any student, I don't think can the
woman... let me break down. That's not so. Mandated reporting is the federal reporting system that they have to, when there's imminent danger, they got to report immediately. That's different. There's school policy that says that you can't call. So they got the regular protocol policy that say you need to follow the chain of command, but then they got emergency response policy that says you definitely call 911, but the other policy says you need to follow chain of command. And so the teachers and staff were saying they was confused and that they were told that they shouldn't call the police because they're supposed to follow this chain of command. But what they ignored was the emergency response protocol. And so either emergency response was not drilled in, and they were only drilled in on the regular de-escalation when somebody's fighting or arguing or whatever in the school. Nobody was prepared for weapon or trained to deal with this weapon. And because there was no police officer, SRO, and Chief Joe said we ain't got enough manpower to even give a SRO or anybody to all of the elementary schools. He said it on January 28th, 2023. He ain't doing it.
So could she? What I'm asking, could she check his body?
Yes. Yeah. And that's the school board policy. Yeah. Guess she could.
I can't hear. I can't. Oh,
what happened?
Oh man. Okay.
Come back in. All teachers, all staff has the authority and autonomy to check students. And that is state.
Can y'all hear me?
I don't know if y'all can hear me, but I can't hear y'all.
Can y'all hear
you? We can hear you, Mike.
All right, check me out, right? Would you rather be on trial if somebody got shot or beating a 6-year-old ass that got the gun at school?
The latter. Number two
Being
for
the gun.
sure.
Yep. I take that.
Because at some point, I'm going to be scared for my life.
Mm-hmm.
That part.
And I'm going to fuck him up.
That part. I said hang him on a coat rack. Like, what we doing here? He's 6.
How y'all doing tonight? I'm in the comments. I had to get out the comments so I can make my comment on here. I don't think that she should be being held responsible alone.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the reason, and this is just from my point of view, of course, I don't know her. I don't know her heart. I don't know any of the teachers. I don't know what the little child was thinking. I don't know any of that. But I'm just going by, like, clearly everybody was passing the buck that day. They were just passing the buck around for whatever reason. I don't know if they were scared. They didn't want to get written up or sued by the parents. I don't know what they were thinking. But I'm thinking maybe she's being held responsible because of her position. And she was the one who did look in the book bag, but didn't check his body, but then cleared him to go back to class. So maybe that's why she is the only one facing this, situation right now.
Well, see, my thing is this. I ain't saying whether she needed to be on trial. I'm saying if she on trial, bunch of people supposed to be on trial.
Oh, I agree. I definitely agree to that. I agree. I think they all failed, in my personal opinion. Like this, if I was the first teacher, even if the principal would have said he don't have a gun, I would have still took all the kids out the class regardless, even if I saw it or didn't see it, because you don't have to actually see a crime being committed as a mandated reporter. All you have to have is suspicion, because I'm a mandated reporter. If you think something is happening, you don't have to have no proof of it at all for you to actually report what's going on. So, and I'm one of the people that keep my head on the swivel at all times. I don't care if I'm in the grocery store, Walmart, or pumping gas. If I think anything is going down, I'm going to get all of them kids up out of there. And if the other teachers look at me like I'm crazy because I'm shuffling down the hallway with 20 children or 30 children, I'm going to tell them, look, you can sit in here if you want to, but I'm going outside. And if they want to write me up, then they can write me up and I'll handle it that way. But I'm out of here. I'm out. Me and the children were out of here. Like, I don't understand any of what happened.
And they were saying that, so when the attorneys for Abby did a little investigation, they said that they had jumped out to them that there was missing discipline files for the shooter, as well as reading that the second bullet in the gun had jammed. So, even on that side, the attorneys are saying that there was a lot of systemic failures. And so, and they don't have no control over who they throw out there to be, prosecuted or whatever. They just gonna do whatever they got to do. But it's just, it's just crazy that she is the only one, and I mean, for all of the things, like for the policy part, for the not doing anything part, they saying she should have checked them. Well, Abby she could have checked them too. She had the right to check them. Like, if it would have been stopped at the door with Abby, things would have been a lot different today. And that's all I'm saying. We wouldn't be on this show talking about nothing because the little boy wouldn't have had enough time because he waited. Listen, and I wonder, why if only we could know what he had in his mind, right? That he waited till 2:00. That he waited till 2:00.
Yeah.
And he could have done it. He could have done it straight off the bus. So
what?
All of that shuffling that day, nobody could have called the police. So he could have, they could have snuck up in there or whatever.
So when the buck got finally passed to Abby, and she's confronting him, what time did that happen?
No, that's his homeroom teacher. So immediately
I
off the
mean,
bus,
not
that's what he
Abby.
went.
My bad, Miss Parker. When the buck got passed to Miss Parker, and they,
So that
threw
was
it on her.
in the afternoon. That was in the late afternoon.
So like around 12 o'clock or something.
I want to say around 1, like a little after 1 or so, because then it was a couple of teachers, and they were like, "You," and that goes back to you, Mike. The male teacher went to her saying, "You need to check, nigga. You a whole big boy. You gonna put it to this woman."
I don't know if y'all have ever heard of or seen the movie Idiocracy, but
No.
well, you need to watch it because that's where we are as a whole society, the whole planet. We're living in this movie Idiocracy because I can see this being a scene in that movie of something like this happening and nobody knows what to do. And they just keep on going about their day until a tragedy happens.
Mhm.
Like none of this makes any sense. The teachers clearly aren't trained properly. They don't take it seriously. But every job, it seems like every job right now is just putting bodies in places without any proper training and don't care about what's being done around them.
I got a question. Excuse me again. Where do people care in today's world?
Right. They
Not
only care when something happens to them personally.
like
Period. Most people.
in every aspect of life these days.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Like, well, in this country, we kind of ain't shit.
We not. Things happen and we record it. We don't go help the people who just got
Yeah.
hit by the bus, falling down. Like we don't help nothing. Everything is funny and we record it and just put it on the internet. People laying, dying, bleeding on the street every day. We got
Like,
plenty videos.
like if you think about what I'm saying, the first person that succeeded a gun got $10 million. How's she not on track?
Hold on, wait. I want to go back, y'all. So there is a discrepancy. There is a major discrepancy. So there's 2 different reports. And one of the reports says that the main principal, was not on the premises.
Mhm.
She was on the premises.
Mm.
She was locked in her room under the desk.
For how long?
Huh?
Since the morning time? Or when the actual shooting took place, she went into active shooter mode.
She was there. It says one of the most disturbing parts of this report after the shooting was how people who sought protection were thwarted by Principal Breonna Foster Newton. It says that Abby passed out in front of Miss Foster's door. And it said Foster opened the door, saw Miss Werner, and shut the door again, telling the 2 kids in her office to get into the bathroom.
So the teacher was shot in the classroom and made it to the principal's office?
Yeah.
This is why they need cameras in the classroom.
And so,
how we know she didn't shoot herself?
So according to what you asked earlier, Sha, they saying around 11 o'clock, that was the first time of some incidents about the gun. 11:15, 11:45, 12:30, 1:40.
Maybe he was waiting till 2 o'clock till everything died down because everybody keep on asking him, do he have a gun? This is ridiculous.
So the main reason, let me say this real quick. The main reason she went to the book bag, according to the first 2 reports, the student said the boy had the gun in his book bag. Then about 12:30, that's when the teacher saying He supposed to put the gun in his pocket and went and remove his hands. Then 11:40, about 1:40, he had the gun and ammunition to show bullets. And then denied the request to be searched. My bad, somebody jumped back in. Let me add them back. Denied the request to be searched. So Mike V must have faded off. Oh, Mike V is still on here. Yeah, so he denied the request to be searched at that time. And as of that, we know the shooting happened at 2:00. So
all of these different stories, right, that are inconsistent, because now we got that he had bullets also, and then they said that the bullets were in the gun. And so what is up with all these inconsistencies?
Sound like somebody well.
You know what I'm gonna do? And that's gonna cost $1 billion. I need to go pull the whole entire file. I wonder if I can get it, if I can do open records request
for you.
They may say that it's still under investigation, and so they might not give it to me. But I'm going to request it. I'm going to request it, and I need to match up what's being said in the media versus what's being said in the court records. And I want to see if there's inconsistencies, because I'm seeing a whole lot.
That's why I keep asking you. She testified that she seen the.
But she did. Yeah, she did. But her attorneys also, they said that they agree that the report shows how woefully ill prepared school administration was to deal with what happened, including that the school had no resource officer. So, and this is a question I have for all the parents that's out there that may be listening to this. What do we expect a teacher to do, or staff, or whoever, when there is a gun? Do we want them to delay and call the principal, or do we want them to call 911 immediately? For me as a parent, you better dial 911. If I find out that you did not dial 911, I'm pulling up on you. I'm going to jail.
Absolutely. I definitely agree. For me, it's 911. And I know earlier you said, we don't like the police, it's a risk when they show up. And that's definitely true, but sometimes you gotta just take that risk.
Listen, this is all we got. So you better dial 911, or you're gonna be dialing 911 on me.
Right, yeah.
And that's crazy that they will dial 911 on us, but won't dial 911 when there's imminent danger of a gun. Because I ain't gonna kill you. You gonna feel like you did, but you gonna still be alive.
And what happened to his mama? His mom is in prison, got jail time or something.
So this is the thing. They said that, and so let's go. So earlier last year, a bill was introduced to allow the state to set a minimum age to prosecute, right? Because right now there is no age limit on, or there is no legal age on when a state can prosecute a child. So we asked for it to be 14. The opposition came back and said 11. They was like, that was the only way that they were going to agree. But 11 is still better than 6, 7, and 8. And so there was an agreement. However, that still didn't pass. And so now any child at any age can catch it, can catch these charges. So in concession for her child not to get in trouble and them to take the child, they said, you're going to have to take these charges. And so she did, so that her child can stay out and be with additional family members. But and here we go again with systems, right? That was not an appropriate response. And so we keep these systems that we keep relying on have the worst remedies ever that doesn't address the issue. Okay, the mama in jail, and what? The little boy is still out here, and from what I understand, still wreaking havoc. He's still out here wreaking havoc. He is one of like my second best friend's grandson, and all I got to say. But anyway, then that could come from a myriad of things. This young man needs some therapy. He needs some intensive treatment.
Yeah.
We don't know what he has went through, seen, or whatever the case may be. It could be something else, but he needs that. And what we do know for a fact that if you already here at 6, what are you gonna be when he turns 26?
I would think that they would have some type of CPS open case for him or for the
Nobody calls
family.
CPS.
No
Nobody calls CPS,
complaints?
and because she went to prison, CPS can't come because the only person they would come after is the mother, and she's in prison, and so there's no point. They won't come now. There's no point. She already
You
in
know how
prison.
they have those family protection plans and do
It's
this
like,
and
yeah, but that's
that.
if she was out. If she was out, they would have did the safety plan and all of the
Mm.
other kind of stuff. But when you go go to jail or prison, they don't come anymore.
Well, I hope. Well, you said he's. Oh God. Never mind.
And oftentimes when it's and so CPS want children that are sellable, right? When there's situations like this, they will get involved, but they will push for the child to stay with the parent in these type of situations. Whereas when there's other situations where the parent actually, really cares about the child, and there may be some like, couldn't afford to rent or whatever, they're going to take the child, put them in the system, pay the foster parent, and then give you 15 months. If you don't, then they're going to adopt your child out and all this other kind of crazy crap. Through the CAPTA and ASPA policies that are put in place through the state to incentivize removing children out of the home.
Why you can't adopt your own child and get paid?
Sir.
Because it's your own child.
I mean, you'll let a stranger adopt them and get paid. Let me adopt my child and get paid. Then I
Listen,
won't
and,
have,
and
I
so,
won't
so
have no
that makes sense.
woes.
Listen. And why aren't we pushing back on the system saying, why are you giving stranger dangers money when there's other family members that are willing to take this? And see, kinship don't get money. When my mom had my grandbaby, they didn't give her, because she was kin, they did not give her any support whatsoever. And then they denied me the ability to be the safety placement, saying that they didn't trust me. Well, like that was a qualification, but that's what they did. And so when you have a family that is intact, they definitely hate that worse. Yeah, the system, like we really, man, listen. And I know that we got so much stuff on us, right? Like we are overburdened with just taking care of ourselves and trying to stay out of the way. And I also believe it's by design that they do things like this to keep us fighting all day and not be able to have a quality of life. Because I don't have no quality of life, y'all. Like I've been doing this. Next year be 30 years I've been out here in these streets. It has completely diminished my quality of life. Fighting every day, all day. I do not recommend it to anybody. However, I do recommend that we collectively mobilize so that it is not so heavy on those that are, and we share the burden together.
Yeah. So right now her trial starts Monday, right?
Yep.
Does she have a GoFundMe or like anything like that? Does she need
No.
financial help?
No. So we put up a GoFundMe, right? But right now, it's too late in the game. Like what's gonna happen is what's gonna happen. I just want. I wish we had enough time, and I wish I had enough time. I just could not. And I've been on it for a while, but I just could not. I didn't have the people or the resources to really stay on this like I wanted to. It's just time that if we feel that that this was a system problem, the only suggestion I have is that we pack that courthouse and say that this problem was a systemic problem. It was not an Ebony Parker problem. Where is the rest of the people that is supposed to be on trial? Where is every fucking body else? And that goes from Miss Mitchell, Dr. Mitchell, who is the superintendent, all the way on down, everybody on school board. And I got a person that I like. I got some folks that I like, but as I always say, right and like ain't got shit to do with one another. If you wrong, you goddamn wrong. Whether I like you or not, you got to go. And so school board, the city council, or where are y'all at? Because city council has an obligation to make sure our school's safe too. Why they over there ducking their damn heads? Ain't saying nothing about, why ain't none of them saying nothing about this thing? Why they not talking about this tragedy while we out here noodling for $3 million fucking dollars?
That's a whole nother show right there itself.
Yeah.
Why we ain't taking some of that noodle money and making sure this woman is good? Why not?
Because folks like to party and have a good time.
A book bag and a hot dog and a soda. Listen, baby. Woo! We a cheap buyout. We are a cheap buyout. Yes, we are. Just had a party in the grill. Like Bobby Scott ain't even ain't upgraded folks the sausages yet. He been giving people hot dogs since the 1800s. When is people gonna get a sausage? we ain't worth no sausage yet, Bobby Scott. We can't get a link, beef, nothing.
He might got one of the easiest districts in the United States of America.
You better know it.
Because my mama ain't even, well, she passed, but my mama know nothing about politics, but she know Bobby Scott, the first congressperson.
They don't know nothing else. They don't
know. Boy, you better go up to the moat and pass them flyers out and get that $25.
No, they was paying us good, man. They was getting us more than that at one time.
I started in like 87.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I started.
When you put me on to the lick, we was getting like a ball.
Yeah,
getting us like $100.
Yeah, Bone Thugs and Harmony just came out when we started together.
Yep. They were taking us way out Phoebus and Buckrow and shit.
Yeah, you'll be surprised at some of the stuff that Bobby Scott said yay to when they up in them people's offices and shit. You go look at his yays and nays, and I did a little research on the guy. He ain't with us too much.
Listen, I might need to come and do a training on the ground so that folks can pull up people's voting records and see where they really are. But you know what was interesting is that folks came after Howard Gwynn and said he had been in that seat for too long. Okay, we got a lot of people who've been in the seat for a little longer than they should be, and so where that same energy at?
Yeah. But like Newport News, the southeastern district, that's the easiest district I know. Because if I'm 45, if I'm 45,
you know a white boy is running against John Early, right?
Who?
A white boy is running against John Early.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, he's not gonna win, but I'm gonna tell you, he's not gonna win simply because he's white and he's Republican. But the boy on the shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
We won't even engage to even try to see where somebody is and what they can do.
But
our own demise.
You know the reason though? The real reason is 90% of the people who voted for these people, I don't got nothing against nobody. They don't even know the 3 branches of government without Google. I'm gonna be 100% honest. They don't know the 3 branches of government without Google. About 90% of the people. The other 10% probably work in the shipyard who know a little something in NASA. Shit, and how, man? Other than that, man, these people don't know nothing, man. This district right here, southeast. Yeah.
No, it's not just your district. It's worldwide, and it's on both sides of the aisle.
But I'm 45, and I've known Bobby Scott. I known Bobby Scott just as long as I known Pooh Johnson.
Yeah, just as long as you know yourself.
Yeah, like come on.
Listen,
I gotta agree.
We really do have to understand this, because when we look at and I did a comprehensive fiscal report on Newport News. I don't know if y'all saw it, but I put it out there for y'all to see. the financial climate that Newport News is in, and it's not good. And so I said 2 years ago, and it's recorded at the city council meeting, that Newport News is going to have to become a tourist city in order to carry its bills. And sure enough, this year, Philip Jones said that he wanted to make Newport News a tourist city. He has no choice. If he wants to be able to pay for everything that they're doing, they're not going to have any choice unless he invests in the people. And that's not popular when you are taking money from Dominion on the low and trying to build your political careers off of the backs of folks that I'm naive or ignorant to politics and how it works and what it looks like. And everybody thinks that because, it's new apartments being built, it's a noodle, it's a party, it's a this, he's the best, this, that, and the third. Listen, folks be selling out your children and you be clapping for them and you don't even know.
Yeah, it happens. Hey, listen, man, I hate to be the one to end a good show, but I'm gonna go around and give everybody last closing remarks before I close it out. As you can see, my eyes are shut and I am beat, and I don't want to be snoring. I don't want to be snoring over here. That ain't no herbs that got them low like that neither. I'm beat. I see it. So I'm gonna let so we go around. I'm gonna let, since we had her on as a guest. No, I'm gonna let her go before Mike. So Shy, you got anything closing you want to say? I know you had a lot of comments. I seen you rolling down there.
Yeah, I just want to say, moving forward in general, point blank period, unity is the only way. Don't judge people. Try not to judge people. Divide and conquer is how we ended up here. So, if you connect with as many like-minded people as you can and get your objectives met, whatever you're trying to do out here in the world.
I like that. That was good. Easy, baby. What you got for me?
I'm gonna say to the minister, hey, send me that report about the money in Newport News. I'm gonna put it in. I'm gonna put it in AI, and I'm gonna figure it out. And I'm gonna create me a position inside of Newport News City. Let me control the money. But that's all I got to say, and I'm out.
To our guest today, our host, and who wanted to put this show together, Miss Shabazz, what you got to say? I'm sorry, I can't call it. It ain't Shabazz no more, is it? My bad. I just have to look up there and see that. Damn, I didn't say it all show. My bad. Minister, go ahead, Minister.
Wait. One person cannot be held accountable for systemic failures. Like, if we ever want to resolve a situation, we got to hold those accountable that need to be held accountable. And it cannot be one person, especially one person who did not have the power. And so I'm encouraging people to do their due diligence, get educated on what's going on, go pull these records, know who these people are, and let's hold them accountable so that we can keep everybody safe. This ain't about this is about right.
Yep.
Come on, mouth. Come on with it.
Again, excuse me.
Yeah, not with the ice.
But this is what listening and pleasure are all about. Like bettering our community, helping people in our community, bringing light and information about situations that impact our community.
Mm-hmm.
I want to thank y'all for actually showing up and being here and contributing.
Oh, that ain't ice. My bad. I thought you had ice in your mouth the whole time.
No, my ass is killing me in here.
Yeah, I'm clowning you and you messed up. My bad.
Do you need an EpiPen?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
You sound like your tongue swollen and some more shit.
Yes, what is going on over there? I thought you were eating something.
Me too. I thought he had ice in his mouth.
Mike, I think you need Mike, hold on. Can you breathe? I think you need an EpiPen or something. Something ain't right over there, Mike.
No, I'm all right.
Okay.
Yeah, the whole time I kept saying that every time you talk, like, man, you eating on the ice. Damn, so I just, go ahead, man.
No, you good.
You finished with your close-up statement?
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Move, man.
Yeah, damn, Mike, you fucked me all up. What I had in my mind, I ain't no damn. You sound fucked up. You said allergies. I thought you was eating on ice. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. But like in a lot, I want to say, Shy hit on, Pure hit on. Joe tried to get the button, so I ain't tripping. But some was, Ebony Parker made a mistake. What some would say by not crossing their T, dotting their I. I don't believe that, but if that's what you want to say, sure. But at the end of the day, she's not the only one who failed those kids. For those that want to say that, you know what I'm saying. One, the mother, I think her name Deja Teller. That was her name. There it is. Couldn't think of it all. Show. She left the gun unsecured first. You know what I'm saying. So we start with that. Then before then, the school system put a very violent child back in the classroom with no plan. Not only violence to kids, choke teachers, breaking their belongings and everything. But yet, Miss Parker is the only one that's facing 8 felonies. You know what I'm saying? So basically, she's the scapegoat. They're trying to make her the single face for the failure, so the system doesn't have an answer for itself. 8 felonies, man. Just think about that. The only person. So you could charge Miss Parker, but if you do that, you got to charge the rest of them. It don't make no sense to me. Or come out and be bold about it. You just want somebody to blame, and that's all. That's all we. One or the other. You gonna bite and say we need somebody to blame, so we don't blame the system, or you charge everybody that needs to be charged.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the words how I feel, and as I learn more, we can talk about it more. But it's just none of it makes sense. And that's our show for the day. And we'll come back to you more. If y'all want to talk about this more, we can do a part 2. We can do more because the trial starts next week. So we can shoot for a part 2. And we got something next week. So we shoot for a part 2 in 2 weeks. Just talking about the trial and what went on with that. So we definitely can do that.
People I'm gonna go Tuesday. If people want to meet up, if they have time, we can go and show our stand in solidarity with her and show up, and let the people know like this is not gonna solve the problem. And they right back to where they were at. Like that's the thing. You holding her accountable, and the school still has not changed. It's still no resource officer. There's still no policy changes. And so hold her accountable for what when we're still in the same situation?
Exactly.
For what?
Which courtroom?
I gotta pull it up.
I think I posted it all in the comments earlier when I looked. I think I posted the whole schedule and the courtrooms, if I ain't mistaken. Or it might just be the schedule telling what. Okay. But it's up there. I posted it when Shy was asking. But like I said, that's our show, and you know how I ended every night. May the wind always be at your back, and the sun always upon your face. And may the wings of destiny carry you off to dance with the stars. Keep listening with pleasure. Until next time, we'll see you. And that was our wonderful episode for the night.
2 fingers. Peace out.
Peace.